You walk into a zoo. Behind the glass, a tiger paces slowly. A gorilla watches from the shade. An elephant lifts its trunk and studies the air. And here is the strange part. You are the weakest looking creature in the room. No claws, no tusks, no armor, no crushing jaws. If nature were judged by appearance, humans should not be terrifying. But many animals do fear us. Not because one person is stronger than a lion, but because for a very long time, the most dangerous thing in the landscape was not the animal with the biggest teeth. It was the animal that kept coming back. Imagine an ancient plain under a brutal sun. A herd moves through dry grass. Somewhere behind them, a small group of humans appears. At first, the animals run. That should be enough. For most predators, it is enough. A lion has seconds to win. A cheetah has one explosive chance. If the prey escapes the first burst, the hunt is usually over. But these hunters are different. They are not fast in the impressive way. They are patient in a way the prey does not understand. The animal runs, stops, pants, cools down. Then it sees them again. The same figures on the horizon.
Still walking, still tracking, still there. This is the terrifying logic of persistence hunting. Humans did not need to outrun an animal at top speed. They needed to follow it long enough, especially in heat, until its body could no longer recover. And this is where the human body becomes stranger than it looks. We sweat across bare skin. We stand upright, reducing direct sun exposure. Our legs, tendons, feet, and breathing allow long-distance movement better than our raw strength suggests. To a sprinting animal, this would have felt impossible. The danger was not the first chase. The danger was the second one. Then the third. Then the shape of a human reappearing after every escape. But endurance alone did not make humans dominant, because eventually the distance between hunter and prey began to change. A hand picked up a spear. Then another tool appeared, the atlatl, a throwing lever that could launch darts farther and harder than the arm alone. For large animals, this changed the rules. Before projectile weapons, danger usually had to get close. Teeth had to reach flesh. Claws had to make contact. But humans learned to hurt from a distance. A mammoth, a bison, or a giant deer could be standing outside the range of a bite and still be in danger. That is a new kind of fear. Not fear of the body in front of you, fear of the invisible space around it. And then came fire. Before fire, night belonged to other animals. Eyes glowed in the dark. Predators moved silently. Humans gathered close, vulnerable to the sounds beyond the camp. But a flame changed the border of the world. A fire was warmth. A fire was cooked food. But it was also a warning sign. Around it, humans could sit awake longer, talk longer, plan longer, and keep predators at the edge of the light. For the first time, darkness was not simply something humans survived. It became something they could organize inside. And that may have been the most dangerous change of all. Because a single human is not the real threat. A group is. One hunter can fail. 10 hunters can surround. 30 hunters can drive a herd. And a community can remember. This is where humans separated themselves from every ordinary predator. Wolves cooperate, lions cooperate, orcas cooperate. But humans could cooperate with stories. They could point to a valley and say tomorrow they will pass there. They could assign roles before the hunt began. They could teach children where animals ran, where they panicked, and where they could be trapped. The hunt no longer lived only in muscle. It lived in memory. That meant every generation inherited more than bones and instincts. It inherited strategy. A young hunter did not have to discover everything alone. Someone could show him the track. Someone could warn him about the animal that turns and charges. Someone could explain where the herd goes when the dry season begins. And once knowledge can be spoken, it does something evolution cannot easily match. It accumulates quickly. Animals adapt through generations.
Humans adapt through conversation. That is a terrifying imbalance.
And when humans entered new continents, the pattern became dramatic. In Australia, many large animals disappeared after humans arrived, though scientists still debate the exact balance of hunting, climate, fire, and ecosystem change. In North America, mammoths, mastodons, giant ground sloths, ancient camels, and other large animals vanished near the end of the Ice Age. Again, the story is complicated. Climate was changing, habitats were shifting, ecosystems were under pressure. But humans had become one more force in the system. A force with tools, a force with fire, a force that could plan. And the largest animals were often the most vulnerable because they reproduced slowly. A small increase in deaths could become enormous over time. One hunted animal is a meal. Too many hunted animals across generations becomes a missing species. But here is the twist. Not every large animal vanished. Elephants survived in parts of Africa and Asia. Rhinos survived. Buffalo survived. Why? One likely reason is that these animals evolved alongside humans for a very long time. They had time to learn. Or more accurately, the careless ones died first. The animals that ignored humans were removed from the future. The animals that moved away survived long enough to pass on caution. So when an elephant reacts to human presence today, it is not thinking about ancient hunters, but its body may be carrying the result of a very old lesson. Do not wait to find out what the two-legged animal is planning. This does not mean humans were monsters.
It means humans were underestimated. We were not built like classic predators. We were built like something harder to read. A creature that sweats instead of pants. A creature that throws instead of bites. A creature that turns fire into territory. A creature that can tell another creature, meet me tomorrow behind the hill and wait. That is the part no antelope, mammoth, or cave bear could compete with. The human weapon was never just the spear. It was the plan behind the spear. And now, the strangest part is this. You still carry that ancient design. Your feet were shaped by distance. Your skin still cools you. Your mind still builds maps of places you are not standing in. Your voice still turns private thoughts into group action. Today, you use those abilities for traffic, jobs, messages, sports, and supermarkets. But they were forged in a world where a mistake could kill you. So the next time you see an animal freeze when it notices a human, remember what it may be responding to. Not you as you are now. Not your phone, not your shoes, not your harmless walk through a modern street. But the outline of something much older.
A patient animal. A social animal. A remembering animal. The predator that did not need claws because it learned how to make the whole world into a weapon.